I started the last take with finger guns, so if that gives you any idea of where my brain is at right now, there it is. Welcome to Alta Ventures. My name is Holly, and I just returned from 7 weeks on the Camino de Santiago. I was away from home for a total of 8 weeks, and it feels really surreal and weird to be back out of the Camino bubble, if you will. I made a previous packing list video, and you can find that linked wherever it is. And this is my post Camino packing list video, so I'm gonna go through what I loved, what I wish I would have brought, what I wish I would not have brought, and yeah, if you're packing for the Camino as well, let me know down in the comments if you have any recommendations for other people or any thoughts about either of the videos. I have some notes here that I'm going to reference just so I can kind of keep it the same as my previous video. So without further ado, bag, amazing. Loved this bag. It was perfect. It's a 40 liter from Decathlon. It is very dirty right now. I actually need to wash it, but I'm going camping in Slovenia tomorrow, so she's not gonna get washed for a little while. And I have my little shell. But yeah, this bag was great. Highly recommend getting something with really sturdy back and definitely hip support as well. Cooler cloth. This thing is amazing. If you do not have a cooler cloth yet, you need to get one, because anytime that I had to pee, there was not a bathroom, or there was a bathroom and there's often not toilet paper, this thing came in handy and it's amazing. Get a cooler cloth, seriously. Sleeping bag. Okay, I'm really glad I had a sleeping bag because it was a lot colder than I anticipated it to be. Especially the first few days crossing the Pyrenees, and then even like in Galicia, even on the Meseta, it was not as hot as I thought it was going to be. So I'm really glad I had a sleeping bag. My friends that only had liners ended up being pretty cold. And sometimes you don't want to use the blankets that are provided in the albergues because you can get bed bugs, like I did. Because I didn't use my sleeping bag one night and I used the blanket instead, so that was not fun. Pillowcase. This was a luxury item that I was kind of debating on bringing. I'm so glad I did, because in a lot of the albergues they give you these little sheets that are paper thin. They're just, it's like a hairnet, and sometimes they don't even do that, so you have this plasticky pillow that when you're sweaty at night you stick to, and all my friends were jealous that I had my own pillowcase. So definitely recommend bringing a pillowcase if you're going on the Camino de Santiago. All right, my hiking poles, I ended up donating them to my friend after I only really used them the first few days when we crossed the Pyrenees, and then in Galicia as well. I barely used them. Really, I just kind of use them to swing around and stretch my arms and use as maybe some dancing props, but I had never used them before, and I don't know if I would I don't know if I would bring them again if I did the Camino again, but that's definitely a personal preference. They just kind of seem to get in the way a lot. I forgot them multiple times in several places. Thankfully, I was able to, go back and get them. It wasn't like I was super far away, but anyway, they just were kind of annoying. I didn't love them. Water bladder. So my water bladder that I brought did end up breaking. It was several years old, so I wasn't surprised. I bought this one in Leon. I think that's where my other one broke. Yeah. And it was great. I highly recommend that. I also brought a water bottle, and I recommend that too. I didn't have both filled while I was hiking during the day, but the water bottle was super nice to have for like going out, because I just like to have my own water bottle with me. Carabiners. Carabiners were amazing. I clipped a bunch of stuff to my bag, and mostly like my flip-flops. and my hiking boots when I wasn't hiking in my hiking boots. So headlamp, I used it a couple of times. It was good. I just didn't get started before the sun rose. I did one morning, actually 2 mornings, but it was nice. I did need it a couple other times for other things when I was searching my bag for bed bugs. So it did come in handy. I would still recommend bringing it if you're debating. It was a useful item for sure. Poncho. This poncho covered my bag and my body, and I used it I think a total of 4 days, but every time I used it, it was absolutely necessary. There were a few days where it was raining so hard and I was drenched and I'm really glad. Well, I was not drenched, my legs were because they were outside of this poncho, but everything under this poncho was fine, and highly recommend taking that. I brought this fanny pack as well. Sorry, I'm a bit disorganized, but this is what you guys get. Loved it. Loved this fanny pack. Not a lot of people carried extra stuff in their fanny packs, and my bag ended up being about 11 kilos, which is about 15 to 16 pounds, I think, which was pretty heavy for my size, but I was okay. I was a bit worried about it at first. I was fine. I kept my passport and like things I wanted easy access to in here, my phone, etc. And I just used it as a crossbody bag when I went out to explore. So really loved having that. Boots, yep. My Solo boots, they are still intact. I just had to super glue a small part. I love these boots. They were incredible. They were not too hot. I did go in May and June, as I said before, and it was much colder than I had expected. So I don't know how the summer hikes go, but I hiked in these every single day except maybe 1 or 2. And I didn't get blisters. Loved them. We'll talk about that later. Thongs, yes. Shower shoes. I do not shower in the albergues without these. And these Archies are really amazing and I love them. I also did bring Chacos. I really liked having them for after the hikes, and I'm not a person that wears thongs like out, so these were just kind of to walk around the albergue, stuff like that, go to the toilet, and these were more for just exploring basically everywhere but the trail. My hat that I brought. I hated this thing. I really hated it. I wore it maybe twice, 2 or 3 days. I don't know why I hated it. I'm not a hat person, and I think it looked a bit weird. It's not about how you look, but it just wasn't very comfortable and I didn't love it. So I wish I would have just brought like, classic baseball cap, because I would have definitely used that a lot more, and this is just what I wear in general when I'm outdoors. So stick to what you know and love, people. This is not about trying new things. I thought I would be like this kind of hat person, but I'm not this kind of hat person. So stick to what you know. Okay, my rain jacket. Unfortunately, I lost it on the very last day. I am not sure where or how. RIP. But it's from Mammut. I will link it down below. It was incredible. It was super light and it was warm and it kept me incredibly dry the whole time. I'm really sad that I lost it. Swimsuit. Absolutely bring a swimsuit. There were a few places actually that we stayed that had swimming pools, or just places that you could like lie out, and rivers. Went to plenty of rivers and hung out, and swimsuit is essential. Tops. All of these were great. I brought this like half zip long sleeve Nike one. I brought this little kind of sports tank top that I usually just wore after the hiking days. I think I wore it like once hiking. I also brought a regular just t-shirt to like lounge around in and to sleep in. And then I just brought 2 merino wool shirts. This was my first time hiking in merino wool and it was incredible. Like I could hike in these for a few days without having to wash them. Maybe a little bit gross, but when you're on the Camino, you don't want to be washing your stuff every single day, so that was super nice. One thing that I wish I did bring was like a fleece layer, maybe like a fleece half zip, because as I said, it was much colder than I thought it was going to be, and sometimes I just wanted like a jumper instead of my rain jacket to provide a bit of extra warmth. For the bottoms, I am so glad I brought these hiking pants from Alpine Nation. They are incredibly long, so for you tall ladies like me, I really struggled to find hiking pants that were long enough for me. These are from Alpine Nation, and they're amazing. They were pretty waterproof and very warm, and I wore them much more than I thought I was going to wear them. My hiking shorts, amazing, great. I love these. They're from Decathlon. No comments. Super great. Love them. My other little kind of biker looking workout shorts, these I wore pretty much every day after hiking as well, and really enjoyed those. I wish maybe I would have brought a pair of leggings, just because some of the days it was colder in the evenings and I would have wanted to not wear shorts and not just wear my hiking pants that I had been wearing the whole day for hiking. So just keep that in mind if you're going in like the colder seasons. And then I brought 2 sports bras. I probably could have only brought 1, but that's personal preference as well. And then I did end up bringing 4 pairs of socks. I think 3 would have sufficed. 2, if you don't, like some days I got lazy and I didn't wash my clothes all the time, and then the next day you want to wash them and then you hang them on the outside of your backpack and it ends up being like rainy and foggy all day, so they never even dry. Really fun stuff. So I guess 4 pairs would be good as well. Let's see. Ooh, where's my dress? I don't have the dress, but loved having the dress to throw on. Sometimes I actually ended up wearing it a lot more than I thought I would too. And my scarf, this scarf was probably like one of the things that I used the most on the Camino. It was pretty cold in the mornings hiking, and I just also kind of sometimes just like threw it around my shoulders for a little layer, little cutesy thing. Definitely recommend bringing a scarf. Toiletries. Obviously toothbrush, you know, menstrual cup, all of those things. Deodorant, face moisturizer, pretty essential. I wore my mascara twice, and after 7 weeks of being on the Camino, mascara in like all makeup feels very heavy to me. So I don't know, this is a personal preference. If you wear makeup a lot, for sure bring your stuff, but I usually don't, and I only really wore it once. Clothespins. I would bring more and maybe smaller ones. Like half this size would work just fine, and maybe bringing like 4 or 5. They were very useful though, and I wish I had more the whole time. What else? This towel from Matador is amazing. It was absolutely incredible. It dries super quickly and it's really small. I never ever had to worry about it like being wet. When I showered, I just hung it over my bunk and it dried, I don't even know how fast, but it was very fast. This is a great towel. Highly recommend. My best friend on the Camino was not Compeed, as a lot of people that I know, but my best friend was Vaseline. I went through the tube that I brought initially with me, and I ended up getting this other jar that is like over half gone because I put Vaseline all over my feet and my toes every single morning, and I got one baby blister. I know that blister care and feet care is extremely personal to everyone, and everyone's bodies are different, but that for me was some advice my friend gave me, and it was absolutely amazing. This is not an ad. It should be. Loved having my air tags as well. It always just like notified me when I, you know, left something behind, which I knew I was leaving my backpack behind or something like that, but it was great. I really recommend traveling with those if you can. Let's see. Fold up bag. Yes, absolutely bring something like this. I loved having it just to, you know, go out and explore more. I also did end up buying a journal before, like when I was in Madrid. So glad I have this as well. Highly recommend bringing a journal. And I wish that I had brought a book. I love reading, so not having a book that entire time was pretty challenging for me, but it was good to just, I don't know what it was good. It wasn't good. I wanted a book. Definitely recommend bringing one of these that you can fold up, and it was super small, so it was great. Power bank. Oh, that situation. I ended up getting a much smaller one. That other one that I had was way too heavy, and after I made that packing video, I decided to just leave it behind, and I got a smaller one in Madrid. It's much lighter weight. I would recommend it. I liked having it. Sometimes there aren't a lot of plugins like right next to your bed in the albergue, so for those nights I just went ahead and used my power bank to charge my stuff. Guidebook. LOL to that guidebook. It was not great. If you liked it, that's fine. I ended up ditching it, but I ripped out the first page that had like the stages on it just so I could kind of, you know, I guess for nostalgia purposes, and I marked off like where I ended up staying. You don't need a guidebook. There are plenty of apps and they work much better than any guidebook. So instead of the guidebook, I wish I would have brought an actual book to read. My tarot cards, really glad I brought them, loved having them. I also ended up picking up a deck of cards. My friends and I really enjoyed playing cards all the time, so I'm glad I had this. Another thing that I acquired was this little mat. My friend had it, and she would take it everywhere and just sit on it. If you're sitting on the ground or on a really hard surface, it's incredible. And I picked it up from Decathlon. It's great. Really, really great stuff. And I'm gonna take this on every hike that I go on from now into the future. I think that's it. The Camino was amazing. I feel strange kind of integrating into life again. And I ended up being out there for 7 weeks instead of the originally planned 5. My friends and I took it really slow, and we just had a grand time. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you've used any of this stuff, if you like it, if you're planning on going on your own Camino, and buen Camino.